Action. Okay. Welcome everyone. This is my first kind of video blog update kind of thing. Not really sure what this is, but I don't know. I started recording. I figured it would be a good idea to just talk about my week. I had a pretty good week. It was a really fun week. A lot of thoughts. I wrote a lot on my journal. I have this journal that I keep, where I just write my thoughts throughout the day. Most days, some days, not most days. That's a lie. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna kind of summarize my week. I don't know. I think that sometimes in life, letting go of the past can be hard. However, I think it's necessary to let new things come and like happen to you, you know? Like, I think that time, people, and material things most of the time, like pretty much everything is just borrowed from the universe. So the universe kind of like takes things away from you sometimes. And I think that it also gives you a lot, but I think that it's necessary to let go of the things or like give them back to the universe when the time is up, you know, like things end, relationships end, friendships end, you know, school ends, jobs end, things end, you know, and I think it's important to not hold on to these things and let go of them so that you have space and like you can grab new things, you know, like literally grab new things. And I think that's very important, you know. I was reading this book. It's called The Merciless by Daniel Vega, and I'm enjoying it so far. One of the things that happens in the book, and it's like not related to the plot at all, but it happens, is that the main character, Sophia is her name, she's in the restroom and there's like writings on the walls, you know, like with Sharpie, I think. And one of the things that it says is, what is it? Love lost was never yours to begin with. And I think that it's very true, you know? Like, as I was saying, it's borrowed, you know? Like it's not yours, you know? It was it's the universe, and the universe let you borrow it, and when the love ends, I think it's time to give it back, you know? I think you can't really hold on to it anymore. You kind of have to let go of those things in order to find new and better things. It's kind of a calming thought that, you know, you didn't lose anything. You're just giving it back. You know, like it's not yours, it's not mine, it's the universe, and the universe let you borrow it, and now it's time to let go of it and give it back. That was kind of what I've been thinking about this week. You never know when you're gonna lose something, you know, like you never know when you're gonna lose someone, when a friendship is gonna end, when a relationship is gonna end. And I think the time that you have it, it's important for you to appreciate it for what it is. You know, you can't always, we always want it to be more or less. Well, usually more. We always want more, I think. And I think that we need to appreciate things for what they are instead of trying to make it bigger than it is, you know? I'm not saying that, you know, those friendships and those people and those times aren't important, but I think that it's important to not put those people and those times and those relationships and those friendships and all that like up in a pedestal. I think it's I think you need to really just take it for what it is. I think it's Andy from The Office, and I know I'm quoting The Office, but whatever. I think he says, "I wish someone told us when we were living the good old days, when the good days are happening," or it's like something along those lines, And it's like the past always seems like it's better, But one day, and it's happened to me before when I look back, I get nostalgic, and it always seems like the past was better, but I think that's always going to be the case. I think once you've experienced something, you kind of have this hindsight of how good it was and how little you appreciated it when it was happening. And it's important to think that maybe those good old days, like the good times, like maybe they're happening now. Like one day you're going to look back and you're going to say, I wish I would have done more, you know? I think that's something important to try and understand. Like you like the past, like one day you're going to look back in this day and you're going to say, wow, I wish I would have done more of whatever I was doing back then. I wish I would have studied more if you're in school, or I wish I would have tried harder to make art or to make music or to learn how to cook or to do more entrepreneurship or like meet more people. And I think that it's not healthy to live with those regrets. I think that what is important is that I got a notification on my phone. I think what is important is that you live in the moment and you appreciate what's happening in your life right now and find those important moments, because moments are just fleeting. Something else that I was thinking about this week is that I don't really believe in right person, wrong time. I think that the right people find you at the right times. Like there's no such thing as right person, right time, because if they were the right person, they would have met you at the right time. I think it's a package deal. I'm not a big believer of right person, wrong time. I think that people are in your life for the amount of time that they need to be in your life, and then once you have learned from them, once you have experienced what you need to experience from them, they leave, And again, it's all just borrowed. It's, I don't know. There's always this feeling of like, what could have been, like if you met the right person at a different time, like if you met the person before, at a sooner time or at a later time, or what could have been if you never met them. But the reality is that you just meet people when you meet them, and you need to appreciate those people and those moments for what they are, not for what they could be or what they could have been. I also don't think that's healthy, and I think that's something I'm trying not to do anymore. Like live in the past and like the what could have been. I think that's not very healthy for your mind. I think what's important is to appreciate what you do have and what you did have as well, instead of wishing there was more to something where there isn't. That was another thought that I had. I think that a lot of times we go out with friends, and this has happened to me a lot, where we go out with friends and we're having a good time, and then all of a sudden we want more, like we want more of the night. We want something spontaneous, we want something magical, we want something interesting, we want something out of the ordinary to happen. And I think that it gets really annoying when you do that too often, like I call it chasing the night. There are times when I go out with friends to a bar or to a restaurant or whatever, and it comes to a point where we've talked about everything, we've done everything, everything like normal has happened, and all of a sudden it's like, damn, I want more. Like, it's still early, and I start chasing the night, and we start looking for things to happen, like we start searching for something interesting to happen, and it's just not that fun. Like, you sometimes keep drinking more, or you go to a different bar and it's just as boring, just as not fun. And again, this isn't always. Sometimes those things do happen. Like, there are times where instead of chasing the night, like the night is chasing you, and it's like everything that could go right just goes right, and all of a sudden it's like you're having an amazing time. But I think it's rare when that happens, and I think it's a skill that you need to develop, to just stop chasing the night and let the night come to you. And if the night doesn't go, like if it doesn't come to you, then like just go home. Like, at least that's what I've found personally, is that if the night isn't like happening, like if you're not getting what you want out of the night, then maybe it's a sign that you should just go home. Like, you've drank enough, you've talked to enough people, you're tired, like just go home. You've done enough. You did what you wanted to do. It's just not happening, That's also something that I've been thinking about. Other times though, you have a really good time when you go out. Like, on Wednesday, I went to a concert, and I went alone because I don't know many people that like the bands that I saw. I saw Lower Town and Julie, both amazing bands. I really like them. Personally, I'm more of a Lower Town fan than a Julie fan, although Julie was the main show. And it was a really good show. Like, both bands were incredible. Like, they really gave it their all. It's out of this year, I think it's probably one of the best shows that I've been to. I never thought I was going to see Lower Town live, to be honest, because they make really strange music. If you know what I'm talking about, they make really good music, but it's really strange. And I never thought that I was going to see them. And when I saw him playing the show, like when I saw that it was announced, I was like, I need to go. Like, I need to go. I don't care how much it cost. It wasn't that expensive. It was a bit pricey. It wasn't crazy though. It was like $40 for Lower Town and Julie. And when I got there, I wanted to buy merch, right? And I saw that the merch table for Julie had a line that stretched from pretty much the entrance where they were selling the merch all the way to almost like where the stage is. Like, the Julie fans are dedicated. They're really cool. They're really fun. They are really dedicated. And there was a long ass line, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna wait in line. Like, I'd rather just get a spot, but let me check out the Lower Town merch table. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna be selling merch after our set. So I was like, all right, let me go find a spot. And while most people, well, not most actually, but when a lot of people were in line. I was able to get a pretty good spot, like towards the center of the place, you know, like towards the middle, towards the center. And I was right on the edge of like where everybody was jumping, everybody was running, everybody was going crazy, everybody was moshing to Julie. But before that, I saw Lower Town, and yeah, they were really good. They were really good. And then when Julie came up, everybody started like moving forward and shuffling, and that's how I got like more towards the middle and towards the center, like front and center almost, you know. And yeah, I was really enjoying the music from both bands. Julie live is something else. Like, they are so good. They are really, really good. And so what I'm going towards is that they played a lot of songs that I like, but when they played what's that one song called? It's the last one from their album. It's called Stuck in a Car with Angels, I think. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Stuck in a Car with Angels. When they played that song, that was the song that I was most excited to hear. And by the time they played it, it was already 10. Which, you know, it's kind of early-ish for like a concert. They still had more songs and they still played after that. But after I heard that song, I was like, okay, I'm satisfied. I should probably go check out the merch table. You know, because the Lower Town, like, I need to catch them. I want to buy merch from them. I need to catch them. And I also want to see if Julie has a line still, because if they don't, like, I need to buy some merch from them too. So I go out, and the Julie table is empty, like there's no people in line. And so I was able to get this thing, this cool ass little record, this cool vinyl. Oh, sorry. And there was like absolutely no waiting for it, you know, because everybody who's a Julie fan was already inside. So I listened to all the music that I wanted to. I had that great experience. And then I went to go get merch from Julie, and I was able to, didn't have to wait, didn't have to do anything. There was a short line, however, for Lower Town's merch, because they were out selling merch now. And I'm waiting in line, and there's only one person there, Apsha, and he's selling the merch, you know, and I see there's people like on the side, and I think they were waiting for Olivia probably to get there. And while I'm in line, you know, I'm just waiting, I'm excited, I'm checking out the merch from afar, seeing what I can get. They have a lot of things sold out already. I wasn't able to get a vinyl from them, but I was able to get a cassette. And when I finally got up there, you know, I told them, yo, I'm a big fan. I love the Best Person You Know music video. Like, it's my favorite music video of all time. And I'm so happy I got to tell them that. And they were really cool. They were really nice. I was able to buy a cassette from them. This one right here. I don't know if you can see it. This one, Friends. And they were nice enough to give me, I don't know if you can see it, their autographs. And so, yeah, it was a really good night, because it was like, I got to see Lower Town, I got to see Julie, I got to buy a vinyl from Julie, and then I got the cassette. I also got a necklace. I'm not wearing it right now. I got a cool necklace that they were selling, and a cassette from Lower Town with their signatures, and I got to talk to them very briefly, and they were really cool. They were really nice. And I think that was a great like night where I wasn't chasing the night, you know, like everything just happened to be perfect. Like, I was placed in the perfect spot where I could see everything. I was able to get merch. I was able to get signatures, autographs, you know. It was a good example of like not chasing the night. And then I could have easily gone back and like finished the set for Julie, but I didn't because I had to work the next morning, and I had already kind of listened to all the songs that I wanted to. So yeah, I just went home, and it was like I had a great experience. You know, I got home early. I wasn't too tired the next day because it was a Wednesday. I had to work the next day, and overall, it was just a great experience. Um, yeah, and then on Friday, I also went out with some friends, and that was also a really good night where I wasn't chasing the night. I hadn't gone out with these friends in a while, like in a couple of months, and it kind of felt like old times, you know? Like when you're a bit younger and you would hang out with friends and just everything is going perfectly, everybody's having fun, nobody's bored, everybody's talking, everybody's social. And it was also a really great night and a really great example of like not chasing the night. Um, I went out to the bar with my friends. They had some DJs. DJs were playing really good music. Um, and I don't know, I was feeling very social that night. And so I went outside, um, had a cigarette. Wasn't mine. I asked for a cigarette. And I met some people that are like not in my close social circle, but like, you know, they're friends of friends, you know, and I was talking to them and started chatting with people. And it was one of those nights where I was having such a good time that the RDD like texted me and they were like, "Hey, we're leaving." And I was like, "What, already? Like it's early, no?" And then I checked my time and it's already 2 in the morning, you know, and it's like, what the heck? Like I was having such a good time that it wasn't like I didn't look at my watch and say, "Damn, it's already like it's barely 12, it's barely 2." It was like, "Damn, it's already like 2 in the morning," you know? And I think that's a pretty good tell of whether you're chasing the night, because I think that a lot of times you go out and all of a sudden it's like, as I said before, like it's barely like 10, you know, and you're like, damn, it's like barely 10, it's barely 12, you know, like you kind of want more out of the night, but instead this one, it was like the night was giving me everything that I wanted. You know, I wanted to talk to strangers, made a couple new friends, you know, had pretty nice chats with people, listened to good music, caught up with friends, and it was like everything was just perfect, you know. Got home at like 2:30, you know, and just went straight to bed. Like it was a good night, you know, like I didn't have to chase anything. I wasn't forcing the night to happen. The night was just coming to me, and it felt really nice, you know, like it was really cool. And I think that when you go out too often, I think you chase that feeling, like you chase that high of like things happening. And I think that's when you start to lose it, you know, like that's when it stops being fun. Like when you're chasing something fun to happen, when you're chasing um you know, opportunity, when you're chasing, you know, the miracle, the out of the ordinary, I think that's when you know that it's time to go home. That's what I think. What else did I do this week? um oh, on Saturday I woke up, and then I woke up and mainly I was just mixing my music. If you see other videos on my channel that aren't like this, it's probably me um, practicing guitar. So yeah, I make music. I'm almost finished with one of the songs. I need to mix it and master it, and so that's what I was doing. I was mixing it on Saturday, and I know it's not the greatest song ever. I think it's a good song. I just don't think it's like meant for everyone, you know? Like I don't expect it to like blow up or anything, but I do think that it's a good song, and it's mainly a song that I enjoyed recording, and now I'm enjoying the mixing process of it. And I think that's the only thing that I need for me to do it, you know? Like if it wasn't enjoyable, I wouldn't do it. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. Like, you don't have to do something because it's gonna make you a lot of money, or it's gonna make you a lot of friends, or it's gonna make you like you don't need to get anything out of something you enjoy except that enjoyment. I don't know. I think it's something that people. I think it's something that. Okay, sorry, I stopped recording. What I was gonna say is that I think it's something people don't do enough. Like, just do something because they enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know. I have some interesting things coming up in my life. I'm going on a trip next weekend, going camping, and then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Las Vegas. That's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do things you enjoy. You don't have to be miserable all the time. Just find little things that you enjoy doing. Take it one day at a time. Find out what makes your day worth living. Even if it's just something small, a cup of coffee, a little bit of candy, I don't know, a good night's sleep. It doesn't have to be this grand thing that you do. It can be something small. Just find it enjoyable, Try to find it enjoyable. I think I'm going to end on that note. Thank you for watching. If you watched this far, I'm going to try to post more videos. I always say that, and then I don't. But, I don't know. Maybe. I enjoyed recording this, so we'll see if I record more. Alright, that'll be all. Take care, y'all.